Look weak, act deadly. It's more than just a catchy phrase. It might just be the most misunderstood and the most lethal strategy in the entire playbook of power.
You've probably heard this famous quote from Machiavelli, right? Be the lion and the fox. But for centuries, we've been absolutely obsessed with the lion, the symbol of pure, crushing force. What if the real key to power, the deadliest secret of all, actually belongs to the fox? That's exactly what we're going to unpack.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to tear down the myths about Machiavelli. Then, we'll get into the weeds on this whole art of appearing weak thing. We'll see it play out with a wild story from his book, The Prince, see how it's still being used all around us today, and finally, we'll wrestle with its very dangerous legacy.
So when I say the name Machiavelli, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's this image of a tyrant, right? Someone who believes in nothing but raw, brutish power. But that's not just wrong. It's a dangerously simple way of looking at it.
This is where it gets really interesting. The popular myth, it's all about the lion, just overwhelming force, ruling by fear, constant aggression. But the reality of what he actually taught, it's so much more subtle. It's about strategic guile, carefully calculated deception, and a kind of patience that bullies just don't have. It is 100% the way of the fox. And this, right here, is the absolute heart of it. The deadliest weapon isn't the giant sword you show off to everyone. It's the one they never, ever see. It's the incredible psychological power you gain when you make your enemy believe you're no threat at all, right up until a moment it's way too late for them.
Okay, so how does this actually work as a strategy? Well, let's be crystal clear. This isn't about being weak, not at all. It's about making the deliberate, tactical choice to seem weak. It's a performance, and you're the director.
It just seems totally backward, doesn't it? I mean, we live in a world that celebrates big displays of strength. So why on earth would anyone with real power go out of their way to hide it? What's the upside?
Oh, the upside is, well, it's everything. Think about it. When your opponent underestimates you, they get cocky, they get sloppy, they lower their guard. They might even tell you their plans because they think you're too harmless to do anything about it. You basically become invisible, free to gather intel, to position yourself, and to wait for that perfect moment to land a single, decisive blow that they absolutely never see coming.
So, how do you actually pull it off? It really breaks down into 4 stages. First, you have to really understand your opponent. What do they expect? What are their biases? Second, you hide your real strengths, your money, your intelligence, your ambition. Third, you put on a show. You project this image of being totally harmless, maybe even a little incompetent. And then finally, when the moment is just right, you strike with a speed and force that leaves them completely stunned.
Now, theory is one thing, but Machiavelli built his ideas on what he saw in the real world. So let's look at a case study he witnessed himself, a true masterclass in deception. Meet Cesare Borgia, the son of a pope, a brilliant and absolutely ruthless commander trying to build his own kingdom in Italy. Machiavelli watched this guy with a mix of total horror and a little bit of admiration. For him, Borgia was the perfect mix of the lion and the fox.
So Borgia has this massive problem. An entire province is in open rebellion. Now, his solution isn't to just ride in there himself, all guns blazing. No, that's way too obvious. Instead, he picks this notoriously cruel lieutenant, a guy named Ramiro d'Orco, and tells him to go fix the problem. Borgia stays back, appearing to be totally hands-off, far away from all the nasty business. He's concealing his hand.
And d'Orco does the job. He crushes the rebellion with brutal efficiency. And in the process, he makes himself the most hated man in the region. But the second the dirty work is done, Borgia makes his move. He has his own governor arrested and, in a shocking public display, has him cut in half and put on display in the town square.
I mean, the result was a masterpiece of political maneuvering. The people, they were satisfied. They felt like justice had been served on this cruel governor. But they were also left completely terrified of the prince who could just snap his fingers and get rid of a man that powerful. Borgia got his loyal province back, and he looked like a hero, not a tyrant. He looked weak, then he acted with absolute deadly precision.
Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this is some crazy 500-year-old history. But the truth is, the shadow of this strategy, it's everywhere. You just have to know where to look.
Just take a look. In the business world, a CEO might talk about how bad profits are right before a tough negotiation to lower the other side's expectations. In politics, A candidate acts all moderate and harmless to make their rivals overconfident before a debate. In sports, a coach might hide that their star player is healthy to catch the other team off guard. Even in just our everyday social lives, someone might play dumb just to get you to reveal what you really think. The tactic is the same. Control how people see you to create an unbeatable advantage.
So we've seen just how incredibly powerful this strategy can be. But we can't ignore the dark side. This is not a tool for the faint of heart, and using it, well, it comes with a pretty heavy moral price tag.
So what's the bottom line here? First, that real, lasting power is very often the power that you can't see. Second, the way people perceive you is a battlefield, just as real as any other. Third, deception is just a tool. It's not good or evil on its own. It's all about how you use it. And finally, the most effective punch is always the one your opponent never even knew was coming.
And this is really the core of it all, isn't it? The question that lingers. Is this kind of thing just a brilliant tactic to outsmart an opponent? Or is it a deeply cynical kind of manipulation that just erodes all trust? Honestly, Machiavelli himself would probably say, they're the same thing.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling question. As you chase your own goals, in your career, your ambitions, maybe even your personal life, where is the line between acceptable strategy and just plain amoral manipulation? When is it deception for survival, and when is it just a betrayal? That's something worth thinking about.